Greetings, BlazeLeeDragon here, and as the title suggests, this is about mythology. So one of my pet peeves when it comes to using the term mythology, and let's talk about what is the actual definition of mythology. Mythology, a collection of myths, especially one belonging to a particular religious or cultural tradition. The study of myths. So what is a myth? Well, let's look at that definition as well. Myth. A traditional story, especially one concerning the early history of a people or explaining some natural or social phenomenon, and typically involving supernatural beings or events. A widely held but false belief or idea. So what is my point with all of this? What do you typically think of when you hear the word myth or mythology? What typically comes to mind for you? Maybe Homer's Odyssey. Maybe the old Greek or Roman gods. Mount Olympus, Zeus. Maybe the mighty horse Pegasus. Do you think of maybe Cerberus, the Hydras, the underworld, or many of the other quests and things that people went on in stories? However, how many of you actually think of the Bible? Seriously, the Bible itself, the stories in it, God, Moses parting the Red Sea, the burning bush, the story of Jesus of Nazareth, the ark, Noah's ark, where, he sailed all the different creatures from earth and the flood happened. My point is this: when you talk about polytheism, or you talk about the Greek gods, the Roman gods, the Celtic gods, the Norse gods, the Hindu gods, the Taoist gods, the Buddhist gods, the Shinto gods, whatever different path that you're talking about spirituality-wise, if it has multiple gods, it is perfectly acceptable in today's society to refer to it as myth and mythology without people batting an eyelash. In fact, many of those that are polytheistic are frowned upon by general society, it seems. They look at them like, oh, how could you believe that fairies or dragons are real, or any of these other beings, or the Valkyrie, or these gods? I mean, obviously you're crazy. But if you use the term myth or mythology to describe the Jewish faith, or the Catholic faith, or the Protestant faith, or the Mormon faith, or any of the other monotheistic faiths, how dare you question the word of God? It's considered wrong. But the term myth and mythology would just as easily apply to the monotheistic faiths. It's just, for some reason, it seems society has labeled all of these other ones as wrong, even though most of the polytheistic faiths today are as a recreation and not a direct link to the past. Now, sure, some have ancient traditions. As far as I know, I think Hinduism supposedly has a 5,000-year and running tradition. Taoism, Shintoism, a lot of those have paths that are thousands of years old, but some of the other ones, like the Druid faith, or even the Wiccan faith that has been popped up recently in the 50s, there's a couple of these, or Satru faith, there's a lot of these that are kind of reconstructions about what's left. But regardless, people are frowned upon, and it's considered wrong to believe in certain beings or creatures. But if it's angels, or if it's God, or if it's the Bible, then it's perfectly acceptable in a lot of societies today. And to me, that's almost a pet peeve. It's all myths and mythologies technically. You're trying to find a path that works for you, that feels right to you. So, just consider that in the future, I guess kind of the point I brought up was that there's like colleges and they teach these mythology classes and they're teaching these religious stories from other religions, but you'll never hear biblical stories in any of these mythology classes, even though technically they belong right there alongside the other ones. To a certain degree, I almost feel like a lot of people are moving away from religion altogether today and are worshiping technology and food, basically. I mean, if you think about it, those are the two big things that people are obsessed with, is these modern comforts and modern technology, and of course eating whatever you can as much as you can, especially in countries like the United States. So I just food for thought. Just a little bit of a kind of a bitch and a gripe out there that they take myth and mythology and they kind of slap it on anything that society seems to think, that's okay to slap it on that. I mentioned dragons and dragons being real, and people are like, what's wrong with this guy? Yet someone could say, oh, well, angels are real and I'm praying to an angel for guidance or help, or whatever the case may be. Oh, okay, that's acceptable. They're just as insubstantial. They're both based upon what you feel is real, or what faith that you have that it's there and will guide you, teach you, help you, wherever the case may be. So yeah, here's some food for thought for you, and just a couple words of ranting from me. So I'm BlazeLeeDragon. Thumb up, like, subscribe. Hopefully you enjoyed this video. Thanks for watching.